Hello guys, welcome back. I'm Manchika, as you all know, and I have been helping you guys out with English. I have also solved the previous year's IMUCT paper. You saw me on the YouTube live, and here I am solving the 2025 IMUCT English paper. Chalo, what are we waiting for? Let's go. So the first question is, I know that you all have already figured out the questions and everything. I'm just here to tell you which ones are the correct ones, and to help you out ki why could the other option that you have chosen could not be the option, or if you have, then if it's correct or not. Also, one more thing, IMUCT just suddenly decided to put and change a lot of syllabus. They were putting comprehensions. They did not put comprehensions this time. They did not add a lot of tenses. They did not even they did not even put finding errors into this. But on the other hand, they went well with one word substitution. Okay, so now we're going to solve this question. So now this is the question. After the long hike, we were all feeling quiet, dash, and needed a rest. Now the options are depleted. Depleted means when resources are reduced. ओके सो नाउ रिसोर्सेज या एनर्जी किसी भी चीज तरीके की रिसोर्सेज जब रिड्यूस हो जाते हैं कम होते जाते हैं देन वी यूज द टर्म डिप्लीटेड drained is somewhat similar to depleted and also somewhat similar to exhausted, but exhausted is like the correct and the utmost terminology for being tired. Okay, and it also makes sense that they went in for a hike and they came back and they needed some rest because they were highly exhausted. Okay, drained is somewhat similar to detained, somewhat similar to exhausted, can be an option. Fatigue is a noun. You get fatigue, you feel fatigue, and it's not an adjective. Why? Because adjectives helps. It works as like a helping verb in a sentence. So this can certainly not be an option. Drained, it is similar to two things. Depleted is resources when resources are reduced. So that left us with an option C, exhausted. Okay, we're gonna move on to the next question. Now this is the one word substitution. Now these type of questions are known as one word. Mind my handwriting, people. One word substitution. Just going to do that again. I'm just going to keep it short. Now, we're going to look on to the options that we have. We have anthropologist, geologist, sociologist, and archaeologist. Now, we know what geologist is. Geologist is the person who works with earth or studies earth and rocks. Sociologist is somebody who studies social behavior and social activities, or societal activities is also what we can say. Archaeologists जो होते हैं, they look into old things, monuments. So this, all three of them cannot be related to this evolution of mankind. So that leaves us with an example of what? Yeah, anthropologist. Okay, so this one's the correct option, A. Moving on to the next question. Also, I am going to be a little precise, as the last time when I tried to be a little, time taking and explanatory, you all said I'm being too slow. So this time it is. I am just going to proceed with the time span and the speed limit. And I hope you all understand. I'm not gonna take much of your time, but I'm gonna keep it very explanatory in order for you to understand. Okay. Now she dash have gone to the party because I didn't see her there. Now she said ki I don't know if she went, but I did not see her there. Now from what I know, most of you would have gone for this. Might not gives us a possibility gives us a possibility that she did not go. And if you have chosen this option, if you did point out and picked up this question, it's correct. It's correct, my friend. It's correct, my dear friend. Okay? Won't be the one, can't and shouldn't. All of these wouldn't and can't gives you a very strong, assumption, or like, a very strong situation ki yaar nahi ja sakti. Can't mein to it's literally showing ki it's a fact that she did not go. It's very too strong. We shouldn't be coming it out too strong. So she might not have gone to the party because I had not seen. हो सकता है वो नहीं गई हो because मैंने उसे पार्टी में नहीं देखा. Also for the students studying at BM, this is from IMUCT 200 book where you are or you have solved these questions. So, and I hope this might have helped you guys because this was pretty easy to solve and pretty easy to get through. Okay. Now, now we have the fourth question. Fourth question is a person who is talkative. Now, talkative is somebody who talks a lot या बहुत ज़्यादा बात करता है. Now, the first option that goes up to is chatty. I know. That is when I said when I took the revision lectures, try to read, understand, analyze the question, and then proceed with the solving part. Why? Because it's going to be easy, but it's going to be confusing as well. Now, chatty is an informal term, cannot be used formally. Okay? Loquacious, on the same hand, is a professional or formal term for talkative. This means lassiturn or lucky turn means opposite. Okay? And reticent means quiet or reserved. Somebody who's quiet and reserved. And this is the list of idioms that I did give to my students for like a brush off or for like an understanding and for learning purposes as well. And I hope you all understood this. Now we're going to move on to the next question. Now, the team performance was so dash that they were awarded the championship. Now, says a dash. Now they said कि team performance इतनी अच्छी थी या इतनी dash थी कि हमें championship award कर दी गई. Now, when it's been awarded with something 120% sure it has to be good. Now, on the scale of this, I'm going to explain how are these. If you have gone for outstanding, outstanding means very good. ठीक है. If you've gone for commendable, commendable means good. Exceptional means like very, 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 very good. ठीक है. And competent, if you say competent means not so good or like, average. Now, in this case, it had to be like very, 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 very good in order for them to achieve you know, these championships. So the answer for this one is C, exceptional. All right. And I hope this is very clear. Again, we've added a screenshot in order for you to know and understand and analyze what type of things we are providing to our students who are preparing for IMUCT. Moving on to the next question, people. Now, the question says that we need to convert it into, or we need to choose the correct one. The play was written by John Donne. Now, this is an active statement. ठीक है? Correct active हमें statement इसका निकालना था. We were supposed to give them a correct statement for what? For the active of this particular sentence. Now, going on to the first one, the play is written by John Donne. Now, this is what? This is a wrong tense. The tense in this is wrong. Also, while explaining it into the class, also I have mentioned that while solving active and passive, direct and indirect speech, you are not supposed to change the tense of it. Okay? And I hope you remember, for those of you who have studied in our batches and they already have, taken the revision batches, they know what I've said and what I haven't. Now, this is a wrong tense. Okay? Let the second option be as it is. Again, John Donne is writing the play. Again, wrong tense. ठीक है. The play has been written by John Donne. Again, it's not wrong, but it is being transferred into what? Passive. Passive tense. ठीक है. Not passive tense, but passive voice. Tense, and then active passive came, and then I stuttered. It's okay. Everybody stutters. So that leaves us with what? This is not the option. This is not the option. This is not the option. The option is what? John Donne wrote the play. Also, here's a screenshot for you all to see the type of questions that we have provided. We've provided you with a very similar aspect and with a similar question in order for you to understand and analyze how the questions are going to come in for IMUs. Okay, so now the next question is the book published after the death of the author. Now, what is the book called that is published after the death of an author? Now, manuscript is half written. Half written book, story, or anything. Postmortem is done once like you die by with the cause is not assured and all that. Then the police tend to do postmortem. Pre-mortem is also the term somewhat of the similar thing, so it does not fit well with what the question is asking. So this is eliminated. This is also eliminated. This is also eliminated, leaving us with option C. That is posthumous. Is the correct option for the book published after the death of an author. Okay. Now, our professor's next question is our professor's lecture was quite verbose. Now, we need to find verbose ka opposite. Okay. Now, verbose ka opposite, as you can see onto the screen, this is a screenshot attached of synonyms and antonyms that I have provided to the students. Okay. Now, I have provided A to Z synonyms and antonyms in order for them to understand, analyze. Now, these are the words. This is the synonym and this is the antonym. Okay. Now, verbose means short, short or precise. Okay. Precise means the word to word and accuracy. Now, the professor's lecture was quite verbose. Now, opposite of verbose is what? Brief, explanatory. Okay. It was quite brief, wordy. Verbose का मतलब होता है short or precise. इधर है हमारे पास brief, lengthish, lengthy. Lengthish is no term that I know of. ठीक है, it's not a real word. Concise is something that is opposite of brief. थोड़ा, it's the opposite of brief. Leaving us with the option D eliminated, option C eliminated, option B eliminated, leaving it with the option A, brief. A professor's lecture was quite verbose. Ka opposite was what? Brief. All right. Moving on to the next question. I dashed in Dublin for 3 years now. Now, again, as you can see onto the screen, this is a screenshot attached from our English module, that is IMUCT 200. Okay. Now, the options given here are lived, living, am living, and have been living. Now, if you are correct, which one have you all chosen? I know if most of you have gotten this right, and I'm just going to tick on for the right one because this does not require a lot of explanation. It is I have been living in Dublin for 3 years. Now, this is the correct tense. I'll explain it to you why. This is simple. Live is simple past, which is not correct. Living is verb from long. Living is the verb form. This is wrong. Okay. Am living is okay, but does not show accuracy or duration. Ki for how long have they been living? Now it shows कि they have been living here for 3 years. तो इधर option क्या बचा हमारे पास? I have been living in Dublin for 3 years, leaving us with the correct option of what? Option C. Okay. Again, the module, the questions. Now, Question is again for the same correct word. If it dash tomorrow, we will stay indoor. Now, if it dash tomorrow, we will stay indoor. Now, similar questions. Now, what is the correct option for this one? I'm just going to check from the options that the kids have sent. They have written, if it rains tomorrow. This is very easy. If it rains tomorrow, we will stay indoors. Now, this is the correct one. If it rains tomorrow, we will stay indoor. Does not require any other explanation or anything for this one. Why? Because it says if it rains tomorrow, we will stay indoors. Now, if you would have chosen the option would rain, it would have been an imaginary situation and in past condition, not in for what we are talking. We're talking about future. Okay. C is will rain. Now there's a term if. ठीक है. If जो clause है that we could never use will, we never uses. Okay, I'll just explain it to you in written. Now if is here in this situation, we will never use if. Sorry, we will never use will. When we see if, we never use will. And should rain is incorrect grammar. That leaves us with what? If it rains tomorrow, we will stay. Correct? Correct? So this question, let's move on to this question. Today is the politician's speech was full rhetoric. Now rhetoric means what? Proficiency. Proficiency or some verbal thing that leaves an impact, something or anything that I said and it left an impact on everybody. ठीक है? तो incoherent क्या होगा? It does not match. Figurative language, I don't know, that is something we are not supposed to. Figurative पे तो focus जाना ही नहीं है. ठीक है. Persuasive is something that is telling you to do something. That is the persuasive language, can be an option. Factual language is the opposite of persuasive. It's opposite of this, so it actually is like we are just removing the elements that we think cannot be the answer for this one. So the correct option for this one is going to be C. And as you can see in for this, we have already attached a screenshot of what our students get, and this is what we help them out with for before the questions or before the exam. Moving on to this question, the artist's use of colors was subdued. Subdued means violent, bright, beautiful, creating a happy mood. Now it says the artist's use of these colors subdued, creating a happy mood. Okay. Now muted means what? It means soft. Okay. It also means quiet in tone. Okay. Expressive is thoda too direct, comes too strong. Vibrant is the opposite of quiet. Okay. Restless doesn't fit. Leaving us with the options of what? Option number A, that is muted. As you can see in the screenshot, we already helped them out with the word subdued or gentle. Okay. Now this one, the instructions were vague. Okay. Now, as we have seen in the previous live that I took, I explained it to you the meaning of vague. Vague means आपको कुछ मतलब non-relatable to anything, and it is just there to distract you or distinct you from something. Okay. The instructions were vague, making it difficult to assemble the furniture. Now it says ki the instructions were too stupid or too foolish for us to assemble the furniture, which made us to assemble the furniture, making the task a little difficult. ठीक है. Clean कोई relevant ही नहीं है, तो उसको vague से तो कोई मतलब ही नहीं है. ठीक है. Incomplete, be vague means to distract, not incomplete. Incomplete is completely a different idea. ठीक है? Ambitious or ambiguous can be one meaning to it. ठीक है? Confusing result है. It's like because of this it was confusing. So it's the result. It's not the cause. Leaving it the option of what? इसको भी हम लोग eliminate कर दे हैं. Ambiguous gives it the meaning of. As you can see, again, the screenshot has been attached. Students who have taken our classes can see this right now. Let's move on. ठीक है? The inadvertent mistake led to huge loss. Now, coming on to the options. ठीक है? Intentional, miscalculated, predictable, and unintentional. ठीक है? Now, indovert means it's also relating it to mistake. ठीक है? Now, it could have been an intentional, miscalculated, predictable. अब predictable तो कोई mistake नहीं हो सकती है. It is either an intentional or an unintentional mistake. ठीक है? तो intentional, I don't think so can be of something, because if you are into huge loss, I wouldn't think you would do something that miscalculated can be an option. Predictable though not, and unintentional. ठीक है? नाउ अनइंटेंशनल जो है वो इसका सिनोनिम है, making it more relevant for it to be the option, which I think, and which is the correct option for this one. Miscalculated is not. All right, we'll proceed. The scientists' dash research led to a breakthrough in medicine. Now, this is going to be the correct option. Why? It is, the meaning of it is my handwriting. Detailed and careful. Systematic is organized, but it cannot lead to a research, or does not give, like, enough details for this one. ठीक है? Hazard is unplanned or opposite. Haphazard actually means the opposite or unplanned. ठीक है? Arbitrary means random or based on person choice. It's a choice. Random or based on personal choice. Clear? I hope it is. So that gives us the answer is what? Systematic is not the option. Haphazard is not the option. Arbitrary is not, leaving us with the correct option using the eliminating method is option number B. This one is what? It's again one word substitution. The preamble to the Constitution outlined the fundamental principle. Now, the underlined word over here is preamble. Now, preamble meaning, okay. So in ICSC, I'll give an example. In ICSC, we used to have these books and all that. We had the history book in which the institution was written, and the preamble was the introduction of it. For all the people who have studied in ICSC, CBSE, हिस्ट्री सिविक्स के बुक्स में जब इंस्टीट्यूशन की बात आती है तो प्रीएम्बल में इंट्रोडक्शन की बात की जाती है. No doubt to even think onto it, and we are dot for it. Okay, so it does not require any explanation for this one in particular. So now we're going to proceed. Okay, the company profit began to dwindle. Now, dwindle. See here in the attached screenshot, it's there. Rise. Okay. Now, we were supposed to put in for the opposite of this. Dwindle means what? Rise. Okay. Now, diminish is going to be the correct one. Increase means badhna. Stabilize means neutral. And fluctuate matlab keep changing. Up not down. The fluctuate means keep changing. I'm actually also looking at my writing notepad, so to see if I'm writing it correctly and not just reduce. Okay, reduce. So that leaves us with the correct option is B, diminish. I hope you all are getting what all we are trying to solve, and you can understand and analyze how many of the options are correct and how many of them are wrong. Okay, now again, screenshot. That's what we are doing. That's what we have provided to our students in order to understand, analyze, and be prepared for what is yet to come. By the time I arrived, they dash finished the project. Now, this is very easy. I don't think so. I owe an explanation. By the time I arrived, they dash finished the project. They must have finished the project. It's why do we use that? Because it's strong assumption. Okay? Should have is a suggestion or obligation. Suggestion is something that I was used. They should have. By the time I arrived, they should have finished the project. Now it's a suggestion. It does not come on for like very strong commitment ki kar dena chahiye ya ho jana chahiye. This does not portray as what we are trying to understand and analyze. ठीक है? Ought to gives same as should. It is same as should. Should have. All right. Would have is used with condition, but we had no condition here, leaving us with the option of this. Now, should have is not, ought to, not, would have, not, must have, yes. The billionaire's grandeur plans for luxury scraper were met skepticism by city office. I know this is a little confusing. Okay, the billionaire's grandeur plans for a luxury skyscrapers were met with skepticism by city office. अब वो बोलता है जो बिलियनियर है ग्रैंडर वो प्लान करता है एक लग्जरी स्काई स्क्रैपर्स were met with skepticism by the city office. Now they were met with any something stopping them from getting the work done, something like that. As from what you can understand, what you can analyze in order to just understand the situation of what is happening here. Now ambitious is a positive tone. First, something when we don't understand the question, we always jump onto the options in order to understand of what needs to be done. Lavish is close to extravagant. Okay, close to extravagant, but shows excess better. Okay, lavish is close to extravagant, but shows excess better. Modest is opposite, leaving us with the option of what? Extravagant. All right. Screenshot of the book that we have given them, understanding and hoping that one day you all are going to come back to us and let us know how it all went and how it should have been. Chalo. Another question. If I dash choose between the two options, I would choose the first one. If I were to choose between the two options, I would choose the first one. We have solved this in class. The correct option for this one is were to. The new policy was implemented by the management. Now, this is active and passive again. Where is it? Active and passive. ठीक है, active and passive का question है. Now, the correct option for this one is the management implemented the new policy. The new policy was implemented by, the new policy has been implemented. The management is implementing the new policy. ठीक है, the new policy is being implemented. Now, these are the four options. Very close, certainly. But what is the correct option or what is the correct answer to this? A. The management implemented the new policy. Now, this is active. Sorry. That's passive form of what the question is. Here again, you can see it in the screenshot of the question that we gave them in for the IMUCET 200 book, not for them to solve. Now, the professor grades the paper, again active and passive. This is again active and passive. See the amount of questions that we have given them in order for them to help. Okay, now B option has gone here. I'm just going to, okay. Now A is the paper is being graded by the professor. B, the papers are graded by the professors. Now this is an active question. We need to find the passive for this one. The professor is grading the paper. The paper has been graded. Now this does not make sense because the tense has been changed. This is incorrect. Not correct. Active and passive rule format. A, the papers are being graded by the professor. No, incorrect again. B is the correct option after eliminating A, C, and D. Alright. Now, the next one is they dash taken the earlier flight, but they missed it. They could have taken the earlier flight, but they missed it. मतलब वो ले सकते थे earlier flight, but they missed it because they were not aware. Tenses questions. देखो, could have, should have, must have, would have. Next question. The visible sign of wear and tear on the building needed repair. Now look at this. ठीक है, screenshot again. Visible. Visible का इसमें हमें क्या चाहिए था? इसमें हमें चाहिए था synonym. अरे चलो. Concealed. Concealed means hidden. We girls use concealer to hide our dark circles. Hide. ठीक है. Unnoticeable is the opposite of visible. But you are supposed to put or use or find the synonym of it. Noticeable, yes. Obvious जो है वो too strong है. Obvious जो है वो too strong है. Leaving us with the correct option C. ठीक है. The noticeable sign of wear and tear on the building needed repair. That is visible. Now, the researchers' assertion that climate change is irreversible has sped intense debate. देखो, सब I'm just marking it different, थोड़ा अलग से, ठीक है? Now, concise or concession, sorry. Concession is giving in. I'm not wearing my glasses, people. I'm so sorry, I forgot again. Claim means assertion ka is the same meaning. Claim and assertion is the same meaning. This is again synonym. ठीक है? Denial is opposite. Hypothesis is idea. ठीक है? Not strong like assertion, or it's just an idea. It is not as strong as assertion, so we cannot or we should not consider this as an option. Claim is the correct option. Concise and denial are wrong. All right. The serendipitous discovery led to a breakthrough. Now, serendipitous or serendipitous discovery led to a breakthrough. Now, this is again from synonym and antonym. Now, the serendipitous is a same word. Serendipitous. Now, people having hard time to read this. I have been speaking since a very long time. My mouth is dry. I might mispronounce it. So don't comment for the comment section कि ये क्या पढ़ लिया आपने. ठीक है? I'm just here to help you out. Help you guys out. Now, इसका भी we need to find this synonym or synonym. ठीक है? This means accidental. Accidental discovery led to a breakdown. Now we all know that this is the meaning of accidental. Intentional is all three. A, C, and D are the opposite of the word serendipitous. Serendipitous. Yeah, serendipitous. Okay, is the opposite of this. So as far as we are concerned, this is the synonym for this one. So we went for the term, or we went for the option accidental. Now, this is again one word substitution है, ठीक है? A group of three novels or play with a common theme. Now that is known as what? Three. अब थोड़ा if we use our brain, three corners, triangle. अगर हम उस सेंस में देखें तो three novels can be this. ठीक है? I'll explain it to you. Anthology is collection. What's the term and what's the explanation for this? Chronicle means historical. Series means maybe more than three. It gives you a maybe more than three. But it says what here? A group of three novels or play with a common theme. ठीक है? चलो. The company has hired new employee. Again, active and passive is the, as far as we are concerned, we have solved a lot of questions, so the option is going to be the C. The new employees have been hired by company. Now this is the correct passive. That is the correct. This is the correct passive. Correct passive. Okay. Now, by the time, again, this is the same question as the last one. By the time I arrived, they dash have finished the homework. Okay. Now they are talking about the project. By the time I arrived, they dash their project. Now, as far as I'm concerned, the previous one and this one needs to have the same one. They had finished. And this is what tense? Past perfect. Others are all wrong tensed. All right. Coming on to this question. The chef cooked the meal. Active and passive again. Now, what is the answer for this one? I'm going to give you guys thoda time in order to understand and analyze this one. And I'm hoping you guys can give me a good option for this one. I'm going to take thoda time after myself. Are you guys opting for this one because this is the passive form? If yes, then this is the correct one. I'm going to give you guys 3 stars. Good. Now, the old house was filled with dash furniture and dusty artifacts. Now, if you remember, we studied we went through that first question where we were studying about architecture or archaeology, right? In that we talked about what? Old things. Now, old things are also known as what? Antique. Historical furniture नहीं होता है. Antique furnitures होती है, monuments होते हैं, monuments as in like carved something wood में or metal में, that is what? Antique. Historical is not usually furniture used for. Okay. The politician made an dash speech that left the audience speechless. Impactful थोड़ा general हो गया कि the politician left the speech, left the audience speechless. ठीक है? It's very general. elaborated is very explanatory. ठीक है. Articulate is very like equivalent but not very close, but it fits better. So equivalent is the meaning of this is well spoken. So this one is going to be the correct one. Now I don't think so we need a lot of time on understanding and eliminating the questions because I know you guys have got this. So I am just going to help you guys out. I'm just going to sit back and baki you guys are going to solve. Okay. The detectives had dash for solving complex cases. An aptitude or talent. This is the those two options are catching my eye. इन दोनों में से ही है. Aptitude means what? A natural skill. A talent is what? It's a general thing that you have once you start doing something. It's a natural skill. Now, if you have used any of these two options, according to me, both of these are correct. But for what I would opt for is an aptitude, not a talent, or can also go. Student did tell me that they have marked this question for for remark and recheck. There's this one option that these guys kept on telling me once you give a computerized exam, you have options, and then you have this remark option over there that proceeds with the theory ki if that needs to be checked or something like that. Okay, so these guys have put on for this one because they were very close to these two. Another one. The politician made I think okay, sorry. This question is repeated now. She was fastidious, fastidious about her work and never compromised on the quality. Indifferent, painstaking, lazy, and careless. Now, the word over here is bata. Painstaking means very careful. Indifferent and careless are all opposite of this one. Now, this is what? Very careful. Okay. This is the correct option for this one. Students have also left this one for remark as they were quite confused. The options or the instructions were not so clear for this one. Okay. A statement that is seemingly contradicted but may not be true. Now we're going to come up to the options. Now the options over here are a little, um, different, or I would say a little difficult because the terms are very, very different from the usual terms that we use. Now, oxymoron are two opposite words. ठीक है. Epigram is short, witty saying. छोटी चीजें छोटी witty मतलब धोखा वाली या to confuse witty. ठीक है. Hyperbole is exaggeration. ठीक है. That leaves us with the option of paradox. Paradox is the correct option for this one. If I dash the solution, I would tell you. If I knew the solution, I would tell you. It's the correct tense. Correct tense. Okay. Options again, the same type of work. Now, the artist's work was considered eccentric. Eccentric. We are supposed to look for the antonym for this one, which is the opposite. Now, common is not eccentric. Okay. Conventional is just does not make sense. Unusual can be. Eccentric is like wow. Okay. Sorry, we are supposed to find synonym for this one. Sorry, people. So sorry. Unusual can be an option. ठीक है? Typical. So according to my understanding, this is the correct option. ठीक है? Correct solution for this one. Now, the tech company product was at cutting edge of industry trends. Opposite. Opposite means what? Antonyms. ठीक है? Now, behind the time is the correct option for this one. Why? Because cutting the edge means outdated. Cutting the edge matlab it's on edge. Now, it's not on edge exactly, but it's a different meaning. I'm just not getting the particular term. But behind the times mean outdated. All right. By the next year, I dash Chinese for 5 years. I will have been studying Chinese for 5 years. Same question, but up with the different options, but with different question, but with the same option. A person who compares, or a person who composes or writes dictionary. This one was a little confusing. Little confusing. ठीक है? Calligrapher, from what I know, calligraphy is a handwriting. ठीक है? This cannot be an option. ठीक है? Stenographer is shorthand. It's a type of language which is used. ठीक है? Cartographer is my grandfather was in the maps department, so I know what that is. It is for maps, leaving us with the option of lexicographer. That is the correct option for this one. Thank you so much, people. I hope you enjoyed the session. And if you have any further more doubts, question, queries, please reach out to me onto the comment section. Thank you so much, guys. Have a wonderful day.